might be just saying. Oh, he's going to... He's just drinking, you know? Just drinking.
Ah, there you go.
Hey. He's swimming. Is he going to go? Oh, is he going to do it? Do they jump in? Like, properly jump in? Come on. Where's the other one? Yes, come on. Yes, I know you're looking at us. Come on. Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Hey!
And then the other one's just like.
Oh.
Waiting for a seal to pop up and grab one. If the ice, as it is, dispersing, there's a lot more cracks, a lot more fragmentation. The seals can breathe at a lot more opportunity to breathe, which sounds horrible to say that, but that's what they rely on. Polar bears need 22,000 kilocalories per day on average to be able to survive. There's 22 Big Macs for us to be able to understand how much that is per day. So they're unable to get this. They need energy to be able to hunt, to roam as well, to feed their cubs as well. They can have up to sort of 3, sometimes very rarely 4. And unfortunately they'll leave their cubs behind. They don't have enough food, they don't have enough energy, and that's what they're doing. So we support Polar Bear International for our own charity. We do they ask zoos and wildlife parks to do research projects. We are now involved in an ambient temperature project, so to see how the bears are coping with our temperatures down here in Suffolk to the Peak District of Doncaster and then up to Highlands to see the comparison in temperature and to see the behaviour in the bears, how they are in our climate in comparison to the wild, because in Canada they're having to deal with more and more similar conditions to us. So they're actually hunting animals like reindeer now, wild goats, they're having to pursue animals, so they're wanting to see how their bodies are reacting to this because they're not built for running, they're big, heavy, patient animals. So with this, other places around the world, they're incredibly intelligent animals. We do training in the house, paw presentation, we can x-ray their heads, they open their mouths for us to check their teeth. San Diego and Oregon Zoo have got their bears, believe it or not, on a treadmill, rehoused, or they would be put to sleep. So Eva's now here. Diego, who's the brown bear, came from exactly the same facility, used to be next door neighbours. So everyone sort of knew each other before arriving here. So Hope used to live with Eva in Sweden before she moved to the Peak District with her 2 boys. Hope is actually Flocka's other daughter, and she's Tala's full-blood sister. So that's her mother. It wasn't like a reuniting sort of confetti cannons, it was more don't come near me. Polar bears, as I said, they like their own space. They will come together to communally feed. We do carcass feed here, so they have had a whole horse in the last couple of weeks to themselves to eat. The horse was dead, just to make sure everyone's aware, before they started tucking into it. And that's something naturally bears would do. They'd come around to carcasses on elephant seals, whale carcasses, items as big as that, up to 16 bears I've seen pictures of on a whale carcass. So they've all come together. They do like their own space as well if they're in that particular mood. They have got enough space to disappear off if they don't want to be around each other. But they do get along. Eva being 18 years old, so Flocka's 16, so not far behind. 18 is the average lifespan for a wild polar bear. So she's classified as an older lady now. In captivity, 25 years is the average lifespan. However, there's still bears in their 30s. The oldest polar bear in the world was 42, who lived in America. So you see Flocka loves rolling around. That's why if you were here earlier, she was completely brown, rolling around in the bark. I mean, Hope's not very white today. She's obviously been rolling around in the woodland or in the bark as well. So they all stand at about 7.5 foot tall. For the girls, it's very averagely sized. Males, Hamish up in Yorkshire is 800 kilos, stands at 10.5 foot tall. He's absolutely massive. The males are absolutely massive in comparison to the females. So that's why we're holding just girls for the European breeding programme. These girls aren't required to breed, so we're just taking them away from the boys. They don't really like being around the boys unless it's within breeding season, and that's about it. So these girls are here. This is Eva's permanent home. She's out of the European breeding programme now, so this is just fully retirement zone for her. So she just eats, goes for a swim and goes to sleep really, whereas the other ones are a bit more busy. So here at the park, you know, a lot of people ask about temperature, polar bears, how do they cope? I'm not really sure how hot it is today, I forgot to look. I think it's around 24 degrees. Today, Churchill, Canada, Hudson Bay.